All right, Mike Heck here for MMAfighting.com in Jacksonville, Florida. And after all these years of doing these interviews and having these conversations, for the first time ever, myself and this man, Mickey Gall, meet in person for the very first time. He's getting ready to fight another Mike Malott, this Saturday at UFC 273. Mickey, nice to finally meet you in person, my man.
How's it going? I feel like I know you, you know what I mean? It's like, I knew what to look for. I know what you look like. So it's like, it feels like we met before, but yeah, it's nice to do it in person for real.
Absolutely. Just look for the man with the shiny bald head in Jacksonville. And you know exactly where to go.
I was worried to get a sunburn out here. You know what I mean? I had to hurry up and make sure I got out here. Couldn't keep you waiting too much.
Well, I mean, this is kind of, in a weird way, it's almost like a new hometown fight for you because you're down here, you've been in Florida for the last month or so.
Yeah.
It feels like the place to be. I know the gym was kind of the reason you got there, and you're at Sanford MMA just with that team that's doing great things. So what kind of inspired that move to begin with?
You know, at my last fight, I had spoken with Henry Hooft, and he kind of invited me down, and, you know, I would have been a dummy not to do that. My sister had been doing business with them, so it was just a natural move, man. Like, you know, I knew I had to go and take a chance. Look, we got Ian Gary over here yelling about me because I got my shirt off. He's jealous of this long torso. You know what I mean? He's been crashing my interviews all week, this guy.
He just did a 35-minute media day, by far the longest of the day.
The kid's got energy for days, man. He's got energy for days. He's like a little pit bull puppy, you know? I love that kid. But yeah, he's one of my Sanford teammates. But yeah, I went down. I was like, you know, maybe I'll do a little bit of my camp down here, check it out. I'd been planning on going. And then it took me 2 days, and I was like, I have to move here. Like, I'd be doing myself a disservice going back to Jersey and rocking how I was. Like, with the coaches, it's such a cohesive unit. All the coaches are working together. The training partners are top-notch. You know, I'm around guys I should be around. And it's just like a family environment. Like, it's just different. It's not, like, cliquey. It's like it's all love. Like, we can get after it, get competitive in the rounds, and then it's all love after. And that's the way it should be, you know? They're building champions over there.
What else did you take away from that fight with Alex Morono? Because obviously it caught Henry's eye. We're seeing your improvement, especially in the striking in every single fight. And Alex is just a grizzled vet. He's been doing this thing for a long time. One of the more underrated fighters, not only in the division, but in the UFC itself. What else did you take away from that fight? And what did Henry actually say to you to kind of get the ball rolling?
You know, he was very complimentary. He's like, man, you got a lot of potential. Like, I think you come down here, you know, we could do some great things. And, you know, it means a lot coming from a guy like that. He's a legend, someone I really respect and look up to. And, you know, it happens sometimes. You don't have your best night in there. I knew I was behind. I knew I'd lost like the first round. I knew the second round was close, and I was kind of forcing things. And you know, I think like it's nice going into this one where this is my 11th UFC walk. Like, I've done this before. I've been here. I'm super happy to do it in front of the fans. I come alive for that. I step up for that. I walk into the gladiator pit where they want blood, and, you know, I want to give them blood. I'll cut myself open to give them blood and get the win and get the job done, whatever it takes. You know what I mean? But I'm just gonna enjoy myself. Like, that's really it. Like, I'm just gonna go there and be me, and, you know, be the killer I am.
How do you like this match with Mike Malott? Obviously coming off the Contender Series, promising prospect.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the matchup with Mike? I mean, Mike's been around the game for a little while, more on the coaching side, but now he's starting to get his fighting career kicked off. Really.
Yeah, man. You know, he's a tough kid. When they sent me the fight offer, I took it sight unseen. Then when I watched him, I was like, I like the fight even more. Like, you know, he's kind of like me. I mean, there's no one's like me, but he's similar. Where he's got the similar, like, he's got the ground game. He likes to strike. You know what I mean? Like, so I think it's gonna be a nice clash. And, you know, like I said, it's, you know, I got a lot of experience. We're the same age, but I got a lot more experience. I'm the vet in there. He's the, you know, welcome to the show, kid. You know what I mean? I'm gonna show him what's up. Like, it's gonna be his first time coming out. All these, like, guys who've been around and, like, regional scenes, they'll be watching me on TV, probably watching with their little douchey friends, be like, yeah, I could beat him up. But then when they come and feel me in the gym, when they get that opportunity, they feel the difference. And they'll be mind fucked after. They're sitting there on the side like, what just happened? I'm like, they're like, oh, I thought I was good. I'm like, bro, you are good. It's just there's levels to this shit. I'm a little better. And I think that's what we're gonna see Saturday night.
What has it been like for Ian, you and Ian being together? Because I feel like in one way you were him right?
Right.
You're coming in, you're coming off a big win, you have a great debut against a pretty big name, and then you get the CM Punk fight, and I feel like you're kind of in similar positions. Like, he is where you were at that point. He's full of piss and vinegar, just like you were. But now, like you said, 11th UFC fight, you're the vet here, you're the grizzled vet, which is just crazy to even say out loud out of the conversations that we've had. But what has he been going to you for advice? Like, do you see like some of your old self in him?
Absolutely. I love it. I see, he's a confident kid. I can relate to that. He hasn't, I haven't had to give him much advice. The way the kid's rocking it, I'm impressed by, I'm proud of. Like, I just tell him, just keep being you. Be you. Keep doing what you're doing, being your confident self, and sky's the limit. Sky's the limit. I really love the kid. He's great. He's a great kid. He's got a good heart, and is a really good person. Yeah.
A few last things. How do we get this thing done on Saturday? What's the headline going to read? How do you see it playing out?
Man, by any means. You know what I mean? I'm gonna go in there, like I said, I'm gonna just be me, and I'm gonna let the victory come to me. Like you asked what I learned in my last Morono fight. I found myself forcing stuff and watching. But I've leveled up tremendously. Every time, my whole career has been in front of the world, in front of the bright lights and in this UFC stuff. So I felt that stuff a little extra. You know what I mean? Like, when I take a loss in front of the world, I felt that. You always feel your losses, you always learn from them. But I felt it a little extra. I had to come up a little harder, a little tougher in this. I like to call it this UFC nuclear terranium. You know what I mean? It's like I got some I get that little superhuman vibe on me, and I'm just feeling great, and I'm just ready to whatever by any means. It could be a knockout, it could be a submission, it could be a dominant decision. But I'm not pigeonholing myself in any way. I'm gonna go in there and get the W.
This is not for effect, ladies and gentlemen, but Khamzat Chimaev literally just drove by. He's in the passenger seat. And obviously, you're at Sanford MMA, and Khamzat Chimaev is getting ready to fight Gilbert Burns. And this is a fight that everybody has circled, even above the two title fights in a lot of cases. So, in your opinion, just being around Gilbert, why is he the guy? Why is he the guy? What have you seen from Gilbert that makes him the guy to stop this hype train?
Well, Gilbert's a real vet. He's a real one. He cut no corners. He's a smart dude. He's mentally tough. He's got all the skills, all the intangibles. But it's not going to be like any of these other Khamzat fights. It's not going to be a quick fight. You know what I mean? So we're going to have to see what this Khamzat kid's made of. And Gilbert's got all the skills in the world. He was a few seconds away from being the champion of the division last year, right? He's Gilbert fucking Burns. Like that. Khamzat's got to deal with that. So I think the line's a little disrespectful. So we're gonna see. You know what I mean? But I got a lot of faith in Gilbert going in this one. I think a lot of smart people should be laying some money down on him.
Last thing, you're getting into the podcasting world, I see, and you made some headlines with this first podcast. You said some things about Bruce Lee. I think you said that you would F him up. I think I know where you were going with it. Do you want to clarify that? Do you want to explain where you were coming from for the people that gave you a bunch of crap for it?
Well, that's on the MGGM show, myself and Gerard Michaels. MG's Mickey Gall, GM Gerard Michaels, and he kind of brought it up. Like, it all came up organically. Like, he was just like, hey man, my friends when they were looking you up, they said there's this video you getting tuned up by Bruce Lee. I guess in like the video game or something. It was news to me, and he was kind of like asking about it. I was like, bro, like, are you serious? Because MMA fighters, like, we will get asked. I mean, look, I'm a foot taller than him. I'm like almost a foot taller, almost 100 pounds heavier. And Bruce Lee himself said someone with Western boxing and wrestling could defeat him in a fight. I got both of those. This game has evolved. Bruce Lee would be proud and would agree that I would defeat him. You know what I mean? Like, and I could see how people took it a wrong way about maybe it came off a little disrespectful, but I was saying it emphatically, like, Gerard, like, this is not really a conversation. Like, this is not like a discussion. This is not a debate. Like, this is fact. I know hundreds of other people who would. You know what I mean? Like, and it's not, I get it. Bruce Lee is this idol, and I grew up. I'm a Bruce Lee fan. I have his book. I read it as a kid, The Tao of Jeet Kune Do. Like, and I respect. He is definitely a godfather of this game. But it's just facts are facts. Like, it's like nowadays, like, people's individualities being like kind of taken away. Like, you can't talk real shit. You can get attacked for that. And really, it's everyone whose opinion has like a right to an opinion agreed with me. Everyone who has no right to opinion, doesn't know anything about fighting, those are the guys who had issues and took issue with this. So I was just sitting there eating my popcorn, laughing at all this stuff. Like, it was funny to me. It was funny. But yeah, MGGM show, check us out.
You've been dealing with this your whole career.
We're gonna keep talking shit. We're gonna keep talking that real shit.
You've been dealing with this your whole career, so this is nothing new for you.
Nah, man, it's funny. It's funny. It's I'm just enjoying life. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, like I said, people can't talk. Like, if people's opinions don't fall in line with what's popular, it's like people are afraid to have a real opinion, an organic, authentic opinion. And the fact that everybody is different is what makes us all equal. You know what I mean? That's what the individuality of people is what creates all the, the artists and the music and everything that's beautiful in this world. So I encourage people to be themselves. I'm going to keep being myself, and as should you and everybody else. You know what I mean? We don't need to fall into no lines. We're all the same. We're all equal. Speak your piece.
Well, it's been about 6 years in the making, but we're finally got to do the face-to-face interview.
Brother.
All the best to you on the weight cut the rest of this week and in the fight on Saturday, my man. Appreciate your time.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mike. Yeah, my pleasure, man, for real.